We are live. We are live.
We are live.
And we are back. And tonight is a big one. Tonight is a big one. It is the
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
The
The
Royal
Royal
Rumble.
Rumble.
The MLB Royal Rumble. We talked about this last week. I'm actually pretty pumped for this. We have basically, we'll go over it more later, but we have 30 guys from the MLB. They're going to fight in a Royal Rumble. Of course, we're going to get into our topics first, and then we'll get to the Royal Rumble. Try to go through these topics a little faster than usual to allow you guys time to get to the Royal Rumble.
I just want to shout out to all the people that watched last week. We had last count 36 viewers. We are going viral, guys.
Also, I mean, not giving anything away, small teaser, we do have a big guest coming on in a few weeks, hopefully.
Potentially,
hopefully, potentially, possibly. And yeah, so that's that. Getting into the topics real quick, there was some big stuff that happened this week. Todd, I'm going to give it to you this time. Where do you want to start?
Wow, where do I want to start? I kind of want to start with Tanaka just because it's like the freshest wound in my mind right now.
Masahiro Tanaka.
The news I woke up to, was that today? The days are just blurring together at this point.
Yeah, it was today.
That he signed. It's official. We all knew it was coming just based on the Yankees agreeing with Kluber and then trading for Jameson Taillon. We knew that the writing on the wall was that Tanaka was not coming back, which I can't really figure out. I know Taillon has a high ceiling and could be very good for us, and he has a relationship with Garrett Cole based on their time together on the Pirates. Taillon's like one of Cole's best friends. But Tanaka, we've mentioned it before. Tanaka is a friend of our podcast. He's just a consistent guy. He signed I believe it was a 7-year, $155 million contract in 2014. And he did everything that was asked of him. And I don't know, maybe there were some negotiations behind the scenes and the Yankees and Tanaka just realized they were too far apart. And for the price, he said, I'm going to go back home and play for the team that I started my career with, which is the Rakuten Eagles. And that's that. I'm upset. I think something should have been done there, and they should have made more of an effort to keep Tanaka. I would rather Tanaka, and I hope I eat my words in October. I would rather Tanaka right now than Corey Kluber.
Yeah, and I think you're 100% right. I think there's multiple ways to look at this. First of all, I think it's a different kind, and maybe you could speak differently. I think it's a different kind of Ryan Cashman than we've seen in years past. A guy that's taking more risks than we've seen, especially right now in the starting pitching. You're adding 3 guys, all have potential, and not adding, I should say. You have 3 guys in Severino, Taillon, and Corey Kluber, who pitched a combined 1 inning last year. Now that doesn't always tell the story of what this year will be, but it's a huge risk. When with Tanaka, I always had my issues back and forth with Tanaka, but you knew at least what his floor was. You know what he's going to give you. And this year, you don't necessarily have that relying on, okay, this guy's going to give me at least this. You just don't have that. Now, you have the situation where let's say 2 out of 3 of those pitchers completely fall flat and just can't stay healthy. You do have young guys that can come up and give you a lift. So it wouldn't be the end of the world, and you could make another move at that point. My gut tells me. Sorry.
We see it every year where pitchers take a couple weeks for them to really stretch out because it's not natural to throw a baseball 95 miles an hour. So if you're not doing it 80 times, which you're not in the offseason, you're not throwing 80, 90 pitches in a session at 90, 95, 100 miles an hour, it takes time for your arm to get up to speed. So you factor in that also the guys they're relying on haven't pitched consistently in a year. I worry about the early season going for the Yankees. And if they put themselves in too much of a hole.
And you think you touched on it before, but I think that the Tanaka situation was interesting because my guess is he asked for a ton of money. That's where my head goes. It goes that he asked for a ton of money knowing I have the option to go back home if they don't want to do it. And there was rumors today that multiple teams went after him. There was also a team that wanted him as a closer that was reported today by Andy Martino, who, yes, he's usually weird, but stuff like that he's usually pretty on about. So a team wanted him as a closer, which is interesting.
He doesn't have closer stuff.
But I agree with that, but I've seen guys, they can lower their stuff down a little bit and just kind of, for one inning, and do whatever they got to do for one inning. I mean, it doesn't really make sense, but at the same time, it does to me. I don't know. You know, that was a weird thing, but I kind of like clicked, and then I was like, it's kind of stupid. But yeah, my gut tells me he asked for a ton of money. That's my gut.
He doesn't have one dominant pitch that he can come into a game and just start destroying batters with. It's that he has a multitude of pitches. He has 5, 6, 7 pitches in his arsenal. So in a one inning situation, you're not going to get the opportunity to really showcase that. So I don't get that at all. But yeah, we wish Tanaka the best.
We do. We definitely wish Tanaka the best. And staying with free agents and the rest of free agency here, we had a bunch signed this week. If I'm missing one, let me know. I think we have Brad Hand to the Nationals, JT Realmuto back to the Phillies, Jurickson Profar back to the Padres, not as big. Trying to think if I'm missing any off the top of my head. John Lester to the Nationals, Springer we talked. J.A. Happ to the Twins. I know that one's a near and dear to your heart. And those are the big ones. Everything else we kind of talked about last week. Simmons and so Simeon goes to the Twins. Simeon goes to. Why am I drawing a blank on where Simeon went? Toronto.
Blue Jays?
Yeah, Simeon goes to Toronto. Simmons goes to Minnesota. So bunch of moves. The market's moving now. I think the last big pin we'll talk about in a second is Bauer. I think when he goes, those top end pitchers on the market like a Jake Odorizzi, those guys, they'll go also. I think they're kind of setting the market there on teams that, I mean, I say teams that miss out on Bauer, but I don't think there's many suitors. So a team that misses out on Bauer might turn to Odorizzi at that point. But like I said, a lot happened. We do see Realmuto go back to the Phillies, which as the progression of free agency went on, I felt that's what was going to happen, especially when I heard the only suitor outside of the Phillies seemed to be the Braves. And that seemed to be more of a luxury than a need for them because of Travis d'Arnaud. It just didn't feel like they needed that. They could have came back to that, but that he's not going to settle for that kind of contract for another maybe month. So, yeah, I think Realmuto was the big one of the week, but how'd you feel about it?
Yeah, I mean, with Realmuto, I think a lot of that on the Braves' part is that there's more benefit by them potentially signing Realmuto. It would have taken away one of the Phillies' biggest strengths, their divisional rival. So it would have been more about signing him away from the Phillies than more so than adding a need to their roster because d'Arnaud can do it. I know there were talks about shuffling d'Arnaud. There were some trade murmurs going around there. J.A. Happ, he is no insult to the Twins. He is a Twin. He is such a Twins guy. He's just a guy you picture in Minnesota when it's 15 degrees out on some October day and it would be a day game too. Like game 4 of the ALDS, they somehow won a game and he would just get shellacked. He would pitch like 3 innings, get tagged for 7 runs, and that would be it. They'd lose that game like 10-2, and bye-bye Twins, as they usually do, flame out in the ALDS. There were some interesting incentives in his contract, which also the dollar amount of those incentives it didn't add up. I think it was 100K. He signed for what, 8 million? It would be an
Something like
additional
that. Yes.
100K if he won the Cy Young, and then like an additional 100K if he won the World Series MVP. I mean, if you're throwing those incentives in there,
yeah,
that should be like, we'll double your if J.A. Happ won the World Series MVP. Here, let's put it on the record. If J.A. Happ wins the World Series MVP, I will personally start a GoFundMe on J.A. Happ's behalf so that we can raise money so that he can get a bigger incentive. We could work something out with JA. Maybe it goes to charity. Obviously, JA is a wealthy baseball player. He doesn't necessarily need the money, but we will start a GoFundMe that is an incentive.
I'll throw something else in. If J.A. Happ can do what you just said, I will put out shirts from DSN, a J.A. Happ shirts, all the money going to J.A. Happ's favorite charity. Mark that in, lock it in, lock it up, lock it in. J.A. Happ, you are a friend of the podcast in a way. I actually don't know. Todd may not like you. I don't know.
His attitude towards the end with the Yankees was just it was just disappointing. He wasn't really a team player. Some of his responses in press conferences, he would be like kind of throwing shade at Cashman and Boone, which how old is he now? 36, 35, 36, 37. And you're on a team that has a chance, an outside chance, if you want to say that, of winning the World Series just about every year.
I think the Yankees had a chance. I mean, how can you not say they didn't have a chance?
I was being politically correct here, just so I didn't. They had a chance, but I'm saying we'll say outside chance.
Fair enough.
I would want to be a team player on that team. Would I rather? I don't know. Would I rather be the ace on the Kansas City Royals, or would I rather be like a team guy on the Yankees? I'm not sure. Depends on the contract situation.
I don't think there was any way Happ was coming back to the Yankees. I don't think that was going to happen.
No, not for $8 million. Yeah. Also, Brad Hand got $10.5 million, which I don't know the details. Nick and I have wondered about this. His buyout was $10
it wasn't a buyout. So basically, what it was he got waived, and if you waive somebody before a team option, and you then have all 30, the rest of the teams have the ability to claim that player for that option number. The option number was 10 million. Now, in my head, what he was going to sign for was either A, going to be a multi-year deal, which would then make sense because he's getting the extra years, or the team wants to give him the extra years, or B, less than 10 million, and a team felt they can get him for that. So the Nationals paying, and it's $500K, but $500K more for a guy that they could have got for obviously 10 million, it didn't make any sense. They almost played themselves. And the Nationals do this a lot with their contracts. They defer the amounts to future years. So they deferred it, I think, for like 5 years. So the contract doesn't start paying out, I think, until it pays X amount this year because it has to, and then it defers $4 and $3 million over the 2025, 2026. And the Nationals do that a lot to stay under the luxury tax because they just don't want to pay the luxury tax. That's another way to get out of the taxes is to defer. But yeah, they kind of played themselves. They kind of played themselves, I feel like.
Yeah. I guess it makes sense, though, if they're deferring, add a little sweetener in there.
And things change. And things change. I mean, when he was waived, they may have said, okay, we want to go get Liam Hendricks. And then all of a sudden Liam Hendricks comes off the market and the Mets are offering Brad Hand the 10 million exactly for 2 years, 20 million, something like that. And the Nationals say, well, if we can come in and offer a little more, I don't know. but things change, I guess, over time. So maybe that plays a role too. Or maybe there was issues with his health that aren't an issue anymore. You never know, I guess. But um, I don't know. I feel like teams really missed out on just picking up that option and rocking with Brad Hand for a year on the same kind of contract. And I actually was I wouldn't say happy because as a Mets fan, I would have liked to get Brad Hand. So I'm not going to say I was happy at all. But yesterday they signed a Loop from Tampa, Aaron Loop, who was pretty good for Tampa last year. I mean, in a small sample size, but he was pretty good as a veteran lefty. He could be that lefty out of the pen for the Mets, who it's hard to be a lefty in the MLB anymore if you're a specialist because it's gone. So for what he is, I think it's a good signing. Same concept with the Yankees signing Darren O'Day yesterday, who's a solid reliever for them. Same kind of concept with both those guys, just veteran guys that can come in and be a nice body in that bullpen.
Yeah, the Darren O'Day signing is, when you think about it, it's really showing how Cashman might be morphing a little bit here, where if someone's not doing the job, he doesn't keep them around. Like Ottavino lost it last year. I know it's a small sample size.
Yeah.
Ottavino historically has been a great pitcher, a great reliever.
Yeah.
So for him, when I saw that news that Ottavino got traded to the Red Sox, and I believe the Yankees threw $850K in along with Ottavino in that deal, it was just wild. They paid an extra $850 just so the Red Sox would take on Ottavino's contract. Then they signed basically Ottavino's replacement for a third of the price. So they opened up a bunch of cash for what the Yankees do, international signing bonus money, and probably Brett Gardner.
Yeah, I get it clearing the money, but on the same note, I don't get giving up a prospect and money to get rid of it because if you're the Red Sox, especially to the Red Sox, because if you're the Red Sox, you basically got something to take him on. If he's good enough this year on a 1-year deal, you can flip him at the deadline and pick up more prospects for basically nothing. And you saw yesterday the Mets trade Steven Matz for 3 prospects, and Matz is terrible.
Ridiculous.
And they get Sean Reed Foley, who's got a name to him as a prospect, and 2 other guys that are one touch the MLB and one's on not too far off. So unless they just had like severe logjam in Toronto with arms and they just need to dump a couple and get a guy that maybe they can rely on a little bit. But yeah, I didn't get a lot of these trades that are happening, but that's why they're GMs and I'm doing a podcast. So
yeah, the Ottavino thing to the Red Sox. I mean, I get the move to get rid of Ottavino, but send them to someone. I don't know. Even send them to like the A's. Don't send them in the division because, especially because the Red Sox bullpen has been god awful the past few years. So
you're basically helping them.
Yeah. I know $8 million is a little much for him, so you're saddling that on the Red Sox, but still. And the Mats thing, I think it's low risk, and well, not low risk because they traded away 3 prospects.
Yeah,
but they're basically the Jays are trying to find creative ways to go for it.
Yeah, because I think
it means overpaying.
Because I think they're
whether it's prospects or free agents.
Yeah,
overpaying George Springer, overpaying for Steven Matz.
Yep.
You could even argue Semien at $18 million is a little much, but it's for 1 year. So
we'll kind of float into this.
Oh boy!
Because with the Steven Matz thing, the Mets are now, I believe, as of the number yesterday, are $36 million exactly under the tax. Which yes, go.
That's TBD on Uncle Stevie's stake in the game stonks.
So there was an article today. Everybody that's coming at Stevie and worrying about his money, there was an article today that I read that at worst, he would lose $1 billion, and that's if he lost the full stake.
I mean,
And he's still worth 14 more of that.
still,
I think we'll be
a
okay.
billion's a lot to lose.
I think we'll be okay. Regardless.
We'll see. Well,
Irregardless, that is the perfect amount, $35 million under the tax, about give or take, for a guy like Trevor Bauer. And we're hearing a lot of rumblings about the Mets and Bauer now. It seems to be that it's down to the Mets and possibly the Dodgers, is what I've heard as of today from Heyman. And it's starting to feel like it's going to be the Mets. It's just a matter of what terms it's going to be on, I feel. My guess is if it's lower AAV, Bauer's going to want a less year deal, probably a 2 or 3 year deal if it's not exactly where he wants the contract. And I think the Mets are okay with that, especially with the contracts they're going to have to give out. Lindor, Conforto, Syndergaard perhaps, so Stroman. So things are coming. So I think the Mets will be okay. Yeah, I think
we're
Bauer's
like
coming.
3 weeks away from pitchers and catchers.
Yeah, I personally, and I follow me on Twitter. I tweeted out last night that my prediction yesterday was we were going to wake up today to a Bauer signing, and I'll say that again tonight. I think it's like on the verge. I think it's so close. I think everything you're hearing is it feels like the ending of a free agent, where it's like you're starting to hear numbers now. You're starting to hear years. I just feel like we're really close. You're not hearing much social media wise from Bauer or his agent, and they're usually very
Which
vocal.
is telling.
Yeah. So there's something. There's something to brewing. The Mets officially hired their GM yesterday, if you want to call it, Zach Scott, who was the assistant, who I fully expected they would do that. He was interviewed with Jared Porter at the time. I mean, they all interviewed. He was part of the process, and they liked him, but they brought him in instead of as the assistant. By the way, a little live tweet here, a little live breaking news. No, I wouldn't say not big breaking news, but it is a player signing. The Nationals signed catcher Alex Avila to a 1-year deal. So again, it is breaking news. That's why I wanted to pump the brakes a little bit after I said it there. I don't want to get you too excited. Imagine if I just broke
from
Bauer.
A source, or you just saw it on Twitter?
No. That was from everybody. It was Heyman, Sherman, Rosenthal, all three.
Okay.
I mean, imagine if I just broke Bauer at that moment. That would have been something special. As we had Bauer on the screen.
As long as Nightingale's not breaking it, then I'll believe it.
You can't even spell. Sorry,
Nightingale earlier in the week. Well, no, we're getting frisky here. Nightingale earlier in the week. What did he say that Trevor Bauer was going to sign a record deal, and then 5-10 minutes later, all of the main baseball guys like Rosenthal and Jeff Passan all were just no, that's not what's happening.
They shut him down hard.
Nightingale just changed his story completely, and he published this at USA Today, that Bauer was going to sign a record deal.
I think
whoever
if you were
Nightingale's sources are, go away.
I think if you were someone who wanted to be like a source, quote unquote, or you were an inside guy, if you wanted to be the guy that got everything wrong, got everybody to get something wrong and fake it out and dupe them, I feel like Nightingale would be the easiest one to get to be duped. I feel like you could dupe him every single day. You could just say whatever you want. You can lie every day. You could be like, Phillies trade Bryce Harper, and he'll just be like, yeah, I got it. I'm going to run with it. And then he would just backtrack 30 seconds later, and everyone would be like, that's just Nightingale. That's just what he does.
Mickey, what are you hearing on the Jackie Bradley front?
Listen, I heard the other day from a guy that I know very well that it was done. Obviously, it hasn't been reported yet. I've heard they're just actually right now, just reading that Chris Cotillo, who's a Red Sox reporter, reported that the Mets have a lot of interest in him as well. So I think that's one of those deals that's going to get done. I think it's going to matter with the construction of Bauer. That's what I think they're waiting on personally. Because I don't know. I just think those are the two pieces that's perfect for the Mets. Defensive outfielder, Trevor Bauer, end your offseason, be ready for the season. I think that's how
Nicky
you
with
cap
the
this
sources.
offseason. Nicky with the sources. Last topic before we get to our MLB Royal Rumble, the Hall of Fame. We'll do this quick. We'll jump through this quick. This week, Hall of Fame came out. I know. And you know what we'll do is we'll do a quick little tidbit on it, and then we'll talk a lot more about it next week. We'll remember to talk more about the Hall of Fame on next week's podcast. But so they allow nobody in, or they put nobody in the Hall of Fame. The only one that was really even close was Schilling. We all know the Schilling stuff. I'll let you go first.
You want me to go first? Okay.
Sure.
I mean, if you fill out a ballot, well, not fill out. If you send in a ballot and it's empty, fire yourself. Quit your beat writer job. You do not know sports. The names on this ballot this year, it wasn't a bad ballot. It wasn't like these guys are nobodies. You had, I think Todd Helton's a Hall of Famer, regardless of what people say. Billy Wagner's a was top five at his position. I think if you're top five at your position, you should make the Hall of Fame. Billy Wagner was a top five closer all time.
I think the problem. Sorry, go.
Schilling, we all know his political views, his world views, whatever. Whether you the Hall of Fame is not designed to be a judge of character, unfortunately. Whatever you think of Schilling's character, this isn't unless he did something like if he committed a crime.
Yep.
He shouldn't be in the Hall of Fame. He might not have the greatest moral compass depending on your viewpoint. The Hall of Fame and its voters are not a judge of that unless it's a serious allegation. Then if you look at the numbers alone, Curt Schilling is a Hall of Famer. If you look at the numbers, Barry Bonds, I think, should get in as well. I think we've discussed it. There should be like some asterisk or something. I think Barry Bonds, if he didn't use steroids, still would have been a Hall of Fame player.
Yeah, I agree.
There are several other guys on that list that you could argue for. And next year, I think the ballot gets even like a little more polarizing because A-Rod comes on the ballot. And so does David Ortiz.
You can't see, this is the thing, and I think it was part of this year's issues, is every player seems to have a chain reaction to another one. So you talk about the steroid guys. Well, how far off are the steroid era guys to a guy like Todd Helton? I'm not saying that Todd Helton, that's not what I'm saying, but I'm saying if they play in the steroid era, how can you signal out that they didn't do it? I think that's the damaging spot we're in. Not that I agree. I would have put a bunch of guys in this year. Bonds, Helton, Wagner, for starters, Schilling, Pettit. I just
Helton, Wagner, Schilling, and Pettit. And like if I had to vote, realistically, probably those four.
I just think the process is a little outdated for how they get in, how players get in, and of course, we will talk about the Hall of Fame more. I don't want to go too down because we do have the Royal Rumble, and that's going to be the big spot on this show is the MLB Royal Rumble. And you know what? I think it's time. I think it's time for the MLB Royal Rumble on the Bump podcast. Now, let's get into this. Let's get into it. I'm excited. I don't know where to put my Gatorade. I'm excited. So basically, thing is here, we will start with 6 guys in the ring, and then we will eliminate one. When we eliminate one, we will bring another one in. That's how this will go.
I wanted to
Todd
do
knows.
the Triple H
I
spit,
saw
but
it.
I'm not going to do
I
it.
literally watched you think about it. I watched your brain, and I was like, he's gonna do it. He's gonna spit in the air right now, and he didn't.
Like I'm in a house, like people will get upset if I
I
spit all over
watched
the
your
room.
brain go that way. So Royal Rumble time, 6 guys at once, 1 guy replaces. We will factor everything: fatigue of the fight, strength.
Should we get Bob to start the countdown? Like, do we
What
want
countdown?
Bob to do the countdown? I don't know. Just say
I
it
don't.
in
I
the
just
voice.
don't. I don't think the countdown's gonna work.
I feel like we
I had
need
it on
some
the
sort of
phone.
countdown.
I mean, I can go.
Todd, you're the countdown guy.
Oh wow, King Bob just came in and said you are the countdown guy.
Wow.
Yeah,
I mean, you've been doing it for the past 2 weeks. I mean, you got to do the countdown.
The last 2 episodes you've literally counted down yourself.
Yeah.
God,
I
fine.
mean, this is your night.
Also, for everyone that knows, Todd does not know what Todd knows who's on it. He does not know the order of.
Wow.
Oh, were we supposed to? Oh, I'm sorry. I thought. I mean, it's kind of hard for you. I don't know. Todd knows who's on it. He just doesn't know the order at all. He has no idea what the order is. Like I said, we will take all things account. We will take fatigue, strength, guys working together that are on the same team. It'll be a whole thing. So, without further ado, we're going to announce the first 6 entrances into the Royal Rumble. You don't need to do a countdown here because usually there's no countdown to start it. I don't think. Unless you want to do countdown. You know what, Todd? Hit him with the countdown.
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
And the first entrances are number 1, Bryce Harper.
No.
Number 2, Charlie Blackman.
By God.
3, Kyle Schwarber.
Wow,
4,
this is a hot start.
Yep. 4 is Luke Voigt.
Holy shit. Holy shit.
5 is Michael Brantley. He looks like the
wow.
And then 6 is the squirrel, Jeff McNeil on the New York Mets.
No.
He's number 6. Thoughts of the top 6, Todd? I'm going to give ourselves about I will in a second. I'm going to give ourselves, by the way, about close to a minute on each little round there, unless we have an answer sooner.
Repeat that.
Bryce Harper, Charlie Blackman, Kyle Schwarber, Luke Voigt, Mike Brantley, and Jeff McNeil.
I mean, Kyle Schwarber and Luke Voigt are basically the same person, except Luke Voigt has the Yankee branding to him. So I picture they would almost be like the Wyatt family, where they would just be in the background, like doing some methodical, crazy shit with like Braun Strowman style strength, just going at it. So I think they would they would get distracted. Then Charlie Blackman would be kind of the strategist here out of this group. Just he knows situationally how to get hits, how to get on base, high batting average guy, high on base percentage guy.
He's like the Jericho.
He would be, the 60-minute man. He has the endurance. And then Bryce Harper would be like the big entrance here. Everyone would go crazy. Probably he'd get a little overhyped. And then you have, who else is in there? You said
McNeil and Brantley.
McNeil, I think, would be like almost the Dolph Ziggler of this group.
Scrappy.
Where like he's scrappy, like he doesn't get the attention he deserves, but he's a constant presence. And then Brantley, I picture Brantley like one of the Uso brothers. Like he's kind of like a wannabe. And they keep trying to push him, and they keep trying to push him on us, and it's just not there. So out of this group, I think what happens is Luke Voigt and Schwarber are distracted by each other, and the rest of them just kind of team up to push both of those over the edge one by one. So first elimination, Kyle Schwarber.
I agree, and I agreed from the beginning. And I think what will happen, in my opinion, is I think Bryce Harper's that guy that like almost gets thrown over the ropes a few times, or like hangs in there like Shawn Michaels, and then rolls back in.
They gotta keep him in there for entertainment purposes.
Yes. So yeah, I agree. we will eliminate Kyle Schwarber. He's been eliminated, and it's gonna be one of those things where, like, him and Voigt are kind of like working together, but they don't realize it, and then they go face to face, and they're like, "Should we team up?" And then here comes Charlie Blackmon. He's gonna take Schwarber and just throw him over the ropes. That's exactly how that's gonna happen.
The old
All right,
dope.
number 7. Do you want to do a countdown, or do I just go?
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Vladimir Guerrero Jr.
Wow.
Big Vladdy is joining the club, and this is a big boy. He's going to cause some havoc in this one.
Carabas would say, that ass is a wagon.
And after Michael Brantley just spurned the Blue Jays, he's definitely beelining right at Michael Brantley. And it's going to be a disaster. And my early prediction here is that he just takes Brantley and throws him right over the ropes.
Yep, that's just going to be like a Mark Henry, like just storming in, and he's
comes
just going
in.
to use his force.
He locks his sights on him, and everybody steps to the side, and he just goes right after him. So yeah, that's my bet, is that he would take Brantley right.
Second elimination, Michael Brantley. So then, do they go back to work on Luke Voigt, or we'll save that?
Yeah, and they start working on Voigt. I would say 2 of them start.
Number 8 comes in.
Number 8 comes in. Oh, okay. You want to do a countdown? Or you want to just go? Countdown.
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Jose Altuve.
Boo.
Jose Altuve is coming in. He's going to come in and take some names. Also, quick suggestion by producer Bob. I agree. 5-second countdown instead of 10. I agree.
No.
Todd wants his 10. You know what? Overruled. Todd wants his 10. But yeah, Jose Altuve comes in.
Would be like the
Mysterio.
They would do the crowd, yes, but the crowd would start doing like a John Cena style chant where they'd be like, "Let's go, Altuve! Altuve sucks." Like, some people will be in Altuve's corner, but the Altuve sucks chants will be way louder than the "Let's go, Altuve."
He's Heath Slater. Producer Bob said he's Heath Slater.
Heath Slater, no. Heath Slater is likable. We like Heath Slater. He's got kids.
He's got kids.
He's a one-man band.
So I don't know how here, but I feel like with Altuve coming in, he'd get a quick pop. He'd go after probably somebody like Voigt, because Voigt, hates him.
He would duck under the rope and like escape somehow, and
I think
you wouldn't see him for like the next 10 entrants.
And somehow, some way here, I would say McNeil gets eliminated. McNeil just gets thrown over by somebody while nobody's paying attention, like in the corner.
So who's in right now? We've eliminated McNeil. So we have Altuve, Luke Voigt, Charlie Blackmon, Bryce Harper,
and Vladdy.
Who else?
And Vladdy.
And Vladdy.
Yeah.
So we need one more in.
One more in. Start it up.
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Nelson Cruz. Nelson Cruz has entered the ring, and honestly, right now there's some big boys in that ring. Kyle Schwarber, Vladdy, and throughout this Rumble, I'm going to tell you right now, they're going to get bigger. But Vladdy, Nelson Cruz is not going to be easy to get out. He's just going to be a brick.
The name that comes to mind when I hear that Nelson Cruz is coming into the ring, I think Eric Rowan. It's just kind of a nothing. Like, he's a big guy. He's a bruiser. His brute strength would get him to beat anybody in there, but it just isn't going to materialize for him.
See, this is where you start thinking about teammates, which we don't really have many yet. I don't think we have any yet. You start thinking about fatigue. How are the top 3 guys still hanging in there? I think Schwarber's that guy.
Luke Voigt's probably tired at this point.
Yeah, but I think he
But
hangs around a little bit.
you have to give Luke Voigt credit. I would say he probably hangs around a little bit. Don't forget the foot stuff he dealt with all last season,
That's a good point.
demonstrating that he has a high pain tolerance.
Okay.
He's not like
That's
other
a good point.
Yankees. So
I envision
bring
this
that
as a
into account.
moment. I envision this as a moment where like Nelson Cruz and Vladdy go up to each other and they stare at each other and they like, size each other up and then they start brawling and only one of them comes out alive. That's where I envision
I
this
think
moment.
Nelson Cruz comes out alive out of that.
You think we should kick Vladdy out?
Altuve's or not Altuve.
Vladdy.
Vladdy's a couple years away from that Royal Rumble moment. They
This
wanted
was
to
like
give him a pop.
Yeah, this was his first time in the WWE. He came up from NXT. He got that
Right.
chance. The crowd went crazy, but it's just he's not ready for it yet. So Vladdy has been eliminated, and let's go to the next guy.
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Bah.
David Dahl.
Can it be?
I think
No.
David. Oh God! I think David Dahl would get ragdolled by everybody in this bunch. I think one by one they would just. He's like the
No.
Santino Morella,
No.
where he's just gonna get
He's
thrown
the
in the middle of the ring and just get picked apart with his fucking snake thing on his hand. He's gonna come out with a snake on his hand, and he's all gimmick. And then they're gonna all throw him.
Lunatic fringe.
You think David Dahl is Dean Ambrose?
Yeah.
I
He
think
would
you're
like show
absolutely
up.
nuts.
He'd drive down in an ambulance, or here's what would happen with David Dahl.
God.
Because we know his injury history. David Dahl would get absolutely ragdolled, like you said early on. He would roll under the ring, under the ropes, kind of lie there. They'd take him to the hospital, take him out in the ambulance, and then 10, 15 entrants later, like by the time 26, 27 comes out, the ambulance would come back ringside and David Dahl would come out and the crowd would go wild. So put on the back burner right now. Save them for the last six.
Wild for David
Jose
Dahl?
Altuve and David Dahl, because the people like lunatics.
What makes David Dahl a lunatic?
He gets injured and he comes back, and you're gonna see it this year in baseball.
We'll leave him in for now. I think this is a moment where I could see if David Dahl's not going out right away, which I think would happen. I could see Blackman getting thrown over here.
No. Blackman's in it for the long haul.
Well, we have to eliminate somebody.
I think it comes to a point where we have to eliminate Luke Voigt.
You think this is about the point?
It might be. I think Bryce Harper, actually. I think we got what we needed out of Bryce. The pop happened. Bryce Harper's kind of I almost said it. He's kind of the Roman Reigns.
So he would go out at 11.
Yeah.
So then he's not Roman Reigns.
Thank you, Bob. Thank you. I'm glad Bob joined in for that.
If he was the Roman Reigns, obviously Vince would have him in at number 29, number 30. He would win the whole thing. So okay, let's make him.
You're rambling.
Bob, what would you make him? Randy Orton? Okay.
Did you say okay to yourself? Or is Bob talking?
No, I guess I agree with him.
You agree with Randy Orton?
He's Randy Orton.
Okay, so regardless, are we eliminating Bryce Harper? We need to keep moving.
Yes, Bryce Harper is gone.
Okay. So, real quick refresher of the five here. We have Blackman, Voigt, Altuve, Cruz, Dahl.
It's really right now in the ring, it's Blackman, Voigt, and Cruz. Those are the three in the ring right now. Altuve and David Dahl are on the side. Yes, they're hiding. So 3
Number
in the
11.
now.
Number 11.
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Bah.
Before I give you 11, why when you get between 7 and 4 do you slow down your numbers? You go fast from 10 to 7, and then you slow down through 4. Next one. Number 11, Peter Alonso, the polar bear. And I think he's going to be tough. He's going to be a tough one because, first of all, he's fat. That's first of all.
Yes.
And that's not fat shaming. That's just truth. He's fat.
No, yeah. He's a big guy.
He's going to be hard to get over the ropes. And, yeah, I would think he's one of those guys going to come in and, like, just go right after somebody, like, small, not a big name. He'll just go in and just take him into the corner. Like he'll go after Blackman. I'm not saying
What
Blackman's
is his
small, but
WWE comp? I'm trying to think of a comp for him.
Rikishi.
No.
Big Daddy V.
Is he Kane?
Otis.
Is he?
He's Otis.
Wow.
Viscera.
That is actually perfect. He is Otis. He's lovable.
Otis.
The crowd wants Otis over the top. They want
He'll last for a while.
They want him to get the girl. Like the World Series trophy is the girl, and they want Pete Alonso to have it. The crowd wants Pete Alonso to be a star, and they want it to be his time. And he probably lasts a while. And the Devils just scored.
Let's go. This is where I think Luke Voigt goes. I think he gets thrown over. He does that thing where he smacks on the ring apron, flips his hair back, and like has a fit as he walks up the entranceway because somebody got him from behind. Like he'll be battling with like Nelson Cruz. They'll be battling for a while, and then someone will come up behind him and take his legs and throw him over. So
Charlie Blackman will just throw him over.
Yeah. So Voigt's gone. Next guy.
It was a valiant effort. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
The Bull. Wilson Ramos. Wilson Ramos. I put him in there because I feel like he'd be a brick. He is also fat and he is slow as hell. He's just a bull. I don't think he'll win it, but he was a guy I like to put in there. He's having the Tigers.
He's the other half of the Uso brothers. I guess he's Jay Uso, or would he be Jimmy?
He's huge. Wilson Ramos is like a bowling ball.
The Uso brothers are big.
Like Wilson Ramos?
They're big guys. They're Samoan big guys.
I think Wilson Ramos is like I don't even know. I don't even know what I would compare him to. Rhino.
He's a okay.
I like Rhino. Regardless, I'm not saying he comes in, he just kind of causes havoc for a second. He just like spears everybody, and then he kind of loses steam, and he gets put in the corner with like Nelson Cruz or something. Cruz just comes after him.
Someone's. I have it for Ramos.
Okay.
Bomb. It's Samoa Joe.
I didn't know what you were doing for a second there, and I was like, "What is he doing?" And then I got it. Okay, I got it.
He'll have like Cruz in a sleeper lock somehow, and just be going at it. Nelson Cruz will be knocked out cold, and let's eliminate Nelson Cruz.
Nelson Cruz.
Wilson Ramos will sleeper lock him, and then team up with Charlie Blackman to throw him over.
And this is where Ramos does a thing. He goes under the ring ropes. He goes out there and he grabs Jose Altuve, who's running around in circles around the ring trying to get away from him, and he takes him, he throws him back in the ring. And Altuve is back in play.
Okay.
Number 13.
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
George Springer. George Springer has entered the fray.
The Connecticut Cowboy.
He's got to be like a Rob Van Dam. He's gonna be a high flyer.
He is Edge, the rated R superstar.
Why is George Springer Edge?
I don't know. That felt right.
Oh, it just felt like at that moment it felt good.
It felt time, like it was time.
Okay, well, I think he comes in, cause a little
Oh.
havoc. He's gonna come
Who's your
defend his
top?
brother. I say Rob Van Dam. He's a high flyer.
RVD.
RVD. Comes in.
I like that. He's RVD.
He sees his buddy Jose Altuve getting beat up, and he comes and helps out.
His buddy. Well, is it like
Well,
a shield moment? It's like
yes,
a shield moment kind of thing.
I think there's a theory coming later, but for now, we'll say he comes in and he helps Jose Altuve out. But I want everybody to stay tuned.
Adding
Stay
some
tuned.
juicy storylines here. Stay tuned
here. And I think this is one of those moments where, as much energy Wilson Ramos has, I think he gets thrown right over.
Yep.
Came in with energy, and then he gets tossed right. Yep, I agree. Okay, cool. Glad we're on the same page. Number 14.
Yep. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Javier Baez. Javier Baez comes in, flying around, flailing around like the Chavo Guerrero.
The Shining Stars. No, Shining Stars.
He comes in. He does that thing where he runs up to the ring rope, runs to the top, and then dives in and takes out everybody. Yep. And it's that kind of thing. And he gets in the fray with everybody. You have him battling. So right now we have Blackman.
He just starts throwing haymakers, and they're just like not having any effect on anybody. Like he throws a bunch of haymakers into like I don't even know who. He goes just like standing there, just like absorbing them.
He goes to throw like a huge punch at Alonso, and Alonso just takes him with one hand and just throws him across the ring, or out of the ring. Just throws. I think we're gonna do that.
Is he a quick, just like one of those like 30 seconds in and out?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think he dives off the rope. He takes out everybody, and then he starts going like one by one. He runs off the ropes, takes out somebody else, and then he goes to hit Alonso, and he kind of goes to a clothesline, and he hits him, and he jams, and then Alonso just stares at him, and then just tosses him out of the ring.
Flyers just tied.
Okay. Number 15.
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
G-Man Choi.
Can it be?
Star Wars? Oh my gosh. That is so that's such a stereotype.
No, it just works.
Yeah, of course it's not.
It just works. Who's your comp? He's not.
G-Man. My comp, I don't know. Good question, I guess.
Big Cass.
Big Cat. Not that big. He's not that tall though. He's more stubby. That wasn't nice. Stubby was not a nice word. Regardless, we'll get the comp.
Shelton Benjamin.
For G-Man Choi?
Yeah. Bob, thoughts?
I don't think Bob's gonna like that.
Shelton Benjamin?
Yeah, Shelton Benjamin.
For G-Man?
Yeah.
I'm not gonna work better. I mean, even even Jimmy Wang Yang.
Or is he Bobby Lashley? Like, I picture G-Man Choi being part of the Hurt Business. Like,
okay,
he'd be part of WWE Underground.
So G-Man Choi is gonna come in, not change the fight at all that much, but he'll just join in the fray as somebody else, and I don't think he's that much bruiser. Yeah, bruiser, but all right, let's go quick. Who we have left here? We have Blackman, Altuve, Dahl, Alonso, Springer, and Choi.
Wow, that's quite a group in.
I feel like there's gonna be a moment here where you almost get Blackman out, but then he hangs around, and then they kind of turn their attention, and I think the run is over for Alonso.
Yeah, seems like.
I think it's time.
Seems like a fair time.
His run's over. Yeah, his run's over. We'll go to 16. Alonso's gone.
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Miguel Cabrera.
Wow, this is like one of the old guard coming back. This would be like an edge moment, like
No, this is
I got it. MVP.
MVP. I was gonna say Kevin Nash, but I like MVP.
Wow.
Miggy
Bob,
comes
MVP. MVP or Kevin Nash, Bob?
Isn't MVP in the WWE right now?
Yeah, MVP
Yes,
started
I'll go
the
with
Hurt
Kevin
Business.
Nash.
Yeah.
Wow, okay, I've been outvoted.
Kevin
He's
Nash
Kevin
in the
Nash.
fight. He comes in and he just throws like a huge clothesline. Kick somebody in the face. Big boot to the face. He's gonna set up energy, and then
This
he'll
is
just go.
also a short. I'm just gonna call it. This is a short appearance. This is going to be like one of those moments where like the crowd all like gets up, applauses and whatever, and they're like, "Thank you," like a thank you taker moment. This is thank you, Miggy.
Yep, and I agree. And then as he does that, he has this moment. And they're like, "Thank you, Miggy," and then he turns around and he gets drop kicked by Altuve, and Altuve kicks him over the ropes.
Right, like he starts like he shakes hands with some guy, like they have like a moment, they hug or whatever, and then they just
like he does it
throws
with
him
like
over.
he has a big moment with like I don't know who would be in there, like a Springer's, no, someone else, because Springer's with Altuve at this point. Somebody, and then he turns around and the most hated guy in there, Altuve, just drop kicks him and kicks him out of the ring.
Yep,
I like that.
He's gone.
Thank you, Miggy. This next one, I think I'm gonna like more than you, but go with it.
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
This man on the Cincinnati Reds fought an entire dugout last year.
Wow.
Amir Garrett.
Wow.
Amir Garrett. This guy is a problem. This guy's a problem.
I want to hear your comp first.
I'm gonna say he'll fight everybody like a Finley. You remember Fit Finley?
Well, when you say fight everybody,
No, he'll fight everybody.
I immediately think of Kevin Owens.
You win on that one. I like that.
Fight Owens, fight.
Yeah.
The
and
KO show.
Like I said, the way he fought a whole bench, like he's gonna come in and come after everybody and not give up. And he's a little athletic like Kevin Owens. I like that one a lot.
And that's the way Kevin Owens kind of came into the WWE, is that he had no fear. He just didn't care who he was going against. He would take on anybody, even if they were a fan favorite, and no one really knew who he was. This is kind of Amir Garrett right now.
Yeah, this is where he takes out
someone who's tired. Yeah.
Oh, tired?
Someone. Well, G-Man's been in there a while at this point, so I'll say that.
Yeah, he'll take out G-Man Choi. This next one sets up a pretty nice little matchup here, I think, with the guys that are crazy in fight. Countdown.
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Ramon Laureano, number 18. Laureano. Razor Ramon Laureano.
Wow.
He's the fighter.
I mean, that's obviously it, yeah.
And him and Amir Garrett just go right after each other.
A laser for an arm. Yeah, that's just like...
And he hates the Astros, so he can just go after everybody. He hates the Astros. That's who he fought. He fought the Astros.
Oh, right, because he's from the A's. Yeah.
Yeah, so he's going to go after everybody. And
I don't know who we eliminate. There would be a big pop here for him because they know that he's going to go after Jose Altuve, and he's exactly who the crowd would want at this moment. So I don't know who's left. We have Laureano, we have Altuve, Blackman, David Dahl still in the hospital, Amir Garrett, Springer.
Yeah, that's it.
So Springer go out here?
I kind of have a moment for Springer later, so I like to keep him and Altuve together.
Okay, yeah. You got the storyline going, the creative team storyline going.
Okay, if we're having David Dahl still in the hospital, then we should just add another person.
You can do that, right? Yeah.
Yeah, so David Dahl's in the hospital. Next guy.
Okay, yeah, David Dahl is in the hospital.
Number
10,
19.
9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Manny Machado.
Wow.
Manny Machado
That's a
comes in.
moment.
Yep. And he just
I
comes
think
in.
of Booker T.
Booker T. I don't hate it.
He just feels flashy, like
Yeah.
Booker T, like does
Little
his
cocky.
thing.
Yep.
Tell me you did not just say that. Like he's both a little cocky.
He goes after everybody. But I don't think that helped us in figuring out who goes out next. I think that made it worse. I think it made it harder.
So
I think it's.
Machado stays. I think Amir Garrett gets thrown over. I think he's going to be
I
a
don't know
target.
about that. I don't know
They're
how
going to
you're
go
going to
after him.
I think it's
They're
too
going to go
early.
after him.
I
Do you
would.
want to eliminate Charlie at this point?
I think we keep Blackman a little longer. I would counter and say that the Astros team up together and take out Laureano.
Okay, and that creates a big negative moment. Okay,
Yeah.
fair.
Yeah, they take out Laureano. Yeah, and then Machado just starts fighting with someone else. We'll go to the next guy.
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Max Muncy. Yeah, that's how I felt too, but I liked him in there. Seems like he's a guy that fights with that mouth.
That's like when who showed up a couple years ago. It feels like Hurricane.
Where he's gonna run in the
Just
ring.
like,
yeah, he's gonna go after everybody, and then just probably get thrown over.
he had a very bad year for me, fantasy-wise. He was a high draft pick of mine, and what did he bat? 195 this year. Like he started to pick it up towards the end. Obviously, Dodgers won the World Series, so he has some bling on his finger. So he probably comes in a little cocky, and he thinks he's a legend now, and he'll get exposed.
Yep.
So let's just eliminate him right off the bat.
Yeah,
that's another
he is
quick
we'll take him out.
elimination.
Number 21.
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Chris Davis from Baltimore. Him and Manny Machado have a moment.
Cast. He is big cast.
Yes. I agree.
Like just kind of klutzy, like can't really do a ton on his own. He needs some help. And him and Machado are probably gonna have a moment where they both kind of stare at each other, and I don't know if everyone's gonna like converge on that moment.
Yep.
But this is a tough group because I think they're not going to just quickly throw Chris Davis over. I think they're gonna like go after a body part and start like working it.
Working him down. I will say here. I don't know. I mean, I could see a situation where like Davis, him and Machado stare at each other, and then everybody goes after Machado. The gang turns on Machado, takes him out.
I'm with it.
Because at this point, if you want to keep Blackman in, he's the only one that's been there for a while. Altuve and Springer have a plan. Dahl is still dead.
Dahl's
and then it's Amir Garrett and Chris Davis. Okay. Number 21. 22,
10,
sorry.
9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
JD Martinez.
This is another, when you get into those early 20s, they're saving the big guys towards the end. There's usually like a lull around like 18 to 25. So I don't know. This feels kind of underwhelming.
I'm going to say
like
this.
He had his moments for a couple years. They gave him a push at one point, and his push is over.
Just because I feel like we're in a lull here, and I don't want to kick out a guy as soon as he walks in, we're going to add another guy to the fray here. We're going to add another guy. You can have. There's
10,
been like 6. There's
9,
been like
8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
I didn't even know this one was coming when I just said that, but I look down and it's Aaron Judge.
Oh, holy shit. All rise. Here comes
It's going to be a
Judge.
brawl there.
Wow,
So,
Judge
to
versus
refresh, because
Altuve
we
in the
did just
ring.
add an extra guy. We did an extra guy, so let's refresh. Judge, JD Martinez, Chris Davis, not Loriano, the other guy. Garrett, Amir Garrett, Springer, Altuve, Dallas Hospital, and Blackman.
Wow.
I'm starting to feel like we may need to get Blackman out of here, although I don't want to. I think him lasting to 23 is a great story. I don't think he's going to win it.
It's like the Jericho story. He was the 60-minute man. It's
Yeah.
the same thing.
Not
That's
gonna win
actually
it.
what the comp should be probably for Blackman. He's
said that
Chris
before.
Jericho.
I said that.
You did?
And you
I'm
agreed
sorry.
with me.
I did?
Just-
Okay.
just-
I guess I just
just
got
shows how
caught
much
up
you care.
in the moment.
It shows how
Just
much you
got
care.
caught up.
It's okay. We'll kick Blackman out. David
He
Dahl's
had a
got to
great
return.
run.
David Dahl's got to return soon.
He's still in the hospital. Give him some time.
Todd, I'm letting you know now ahead of time. There's no chance I'm letting you say David Dahl's winning this.
No, that's fine.
Okay, cool. As long as we're on the same page.
Well, now
I'll
you
let him
just
take
spoiled
the
it, but okay.
Number 24.
Spoiler alert. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Another fighter. Nolan Arenado.
Wow. One, that's unfortunate that we eliminated Charlie Blackman after a long run, and his best teammate, Nolan Arenado, comes back. But
He was
that
coming
could
to
have
help.
been a blessing in disguise because I think secretly, obviously, well, not obviously, but secretly, Arenado wants out of Colorado. So
Yeah.
it might
But
not
here-
have, it could have been a moment there where he like turns on one of his best friends, like a Seth Rollins to the chair, or with the chair moment. Is he
Speaking
Seth
of
Rollins?
he might be.
He's Seth
might be.
Rollins.
But speaking of that, here's the moment I was waiting for. George Springer, Altuve. Altuve and Judge are going at it. Springer comes in, helps out Altuve. Doesn't throw Judge out, just knocks him down. And then Altuve thinks he's got him. They go to dap it up, and then Springer turns on him and throws him over the ropes.
Wow. Holy
Springer
shit.
turns on his friend.
Holy shit.
And then he kind of goes on the rope. He stares over the ropes and he stares down at them for a little bit.
It's like
And Springer
a Rock moment. Is he the Rock? Is he the Rock, Springer?
might be the Rock.
If you smoke the Rock.
Number 25.
He does like one of these like moments.
Number 25.
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Bang.
Andrew Benintendi.
Benny biceps. This is
Kind
kind
of
of also like a low moment too. He, in my mind, is like Clint Frazier. Clint Frazier is to the Yankees what Andrew Benintendi is to the Red Sox. What that makes his WWE comp?
Like a John Morrison.
Okay.
John Morrison.
Maybe like a Drew McIntyre? Or is he not as big as Drew?
No, he's not as big, but same kind of concept. I think this is a moment where we say bye to Chris Davis.
Yeah, feels right. They worked on him a little bit. They tortured him, like went after his knee or whatever, and threw him
Now,
over.
before we get 26 here, a little refresher again. So we have George Springer. We have David Dahl. Technically, we have. Did we ever eliminate Ji-Man Choi?
What's that?
Oh, no, we did. We did eliminate Choi.
It's an ambulance. Woo, woo, woo. Can it
Springer, Amir Garrett,
Yes. He's back. David
JD
Dahl just came back in
Martinez.
the ring. David Dahl is
Keep
back in the
talking.
ring.
Aaron Judge, Nolan Arenado, and Ben. Oh, he's back in the ring now.
He's
Back
back.
in the ring. Okay. Okay. So now, does he work with Nolan, or does Nolan throw him over? Because he left
Say it again.
Colorado. Does he
Does
work
he
with
work?
Nolan? With Nolan.
Yes, because I think Nolan kind of feels sympathetic that
Mm.
David Dahl, like, he wants what David Dahl has right now, which is out of Colorado. Although not to Detroit. He doesn't want to go to Detroit.
Texas.
Is it?
Texas.
Why did I think David Dahl? Oh, right, the Rangers. Maybe he does want to go to the Rangers, actually.
Number 26.
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Your boy, Aaron Hicks.
Wow. Hicks to the sticks.
I feel like Hicks was...
Did everyone see Aaron Hicks playing golf last weekend in the Diamond, whatever it's called, Classic? He hit some absolute bombs.
Yep.
What would his comp be? Bob, any thoughts on Aaron Hicks' WWE comp?
Carlito?
Wow.
I actually love it.
Wow.
Comes in,
That
spits
is kind of like people don't realize that, like, while Aaron Hicks is also like kind of cool, calm, and collected, he's Caribbean cool. He also has some fire to him, and he'll spit in the face of people who don't want to be cool.
So we can...
I wish I had an apple by me so I can do it.
We can take out David Dahl. Is it time?
Fine.
He just doesn't belong.
He came back. He had his moment. Fine.
Yeah. There's about to be...
Fine.
I just looked at the next two, and there's about to be a team inside this ring that's going to take over, but we'll see in a second. Number 27.
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Clint Frazier
Wow.
comes and joins his boys Hicks and Aaron Judge, and they start a revolution.
I have a theory with Clint. At some point, he will turn on both of them.
Wow. So we'll keep them together.
I don't know. Clint is Enzo Amore.
He is.
That's where you want to go with this?
Clint and Aaron Judge are Enzo and Cass.
So you're going to release him over the next year?
Well, let's no. Let's not get into that. But
and this is the moment. Perfect setup here.
And this right here, this is Big Judge, and he's 7 feet tall, and you can't teach that.
Great.
He's a Mike Saber. He's got a lightsaber for a Mike Saber, whatever it is.
Oh man, this is a lot. This is where the Yankees go after either Benintendi or JD Martinez, whatever one you want to take out.
JD.
Or we could do it where we just kick two out here, where you had the Yankees and Red Sox have a standoff, and one team was making out alive.
I mean, you'd need another Red Sox guy in the ring here, so I'm saying
All right,
JD.
so we'll take JD. Number 28.
JD's out.
28.
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Here comes another one, and this was random, guys. Giancarlo Stanton.
Wow.
It was random.
The Yankee domination.
So
Yankee
Judge,
domination.
Stanton, Clint, and Hicks together right now.
I mean, we already gave the Rock title to, who did we give it to before?
Springer.
So, I mean, but obviously, people walking down the street who don't know baseball. He's Batista, did you say?
Oh,
wow,
yeah,
Bob, I love that.
Yeah.
Give me what I want.
He can't stay in the ring. Yeah.
Give me what I want. Like,
yeah,
he comes in and he's like, this television Sing it, Bob.
Now, this is where I think they
I
maul.
walk for miles inside this pit of danger.
Good?
I walk for miles. Okay, yeah,
This is
I'm done.
this is where they maul Benintendi and take Benintendi out.
Yeah, wow, this is Yankee domination. This is
And there's still one more coming.
so
Number
who's left?
29.
Just for review, we have
There's two.
Stanton.
Oh, Stanton, Clint, Hicks, Nolan Arenado, Aaron Judge,
Nolan.
okay, and Amir Garrett.
That's it.
Amir Garrett
and Amir Garrett.
and Springer.
So we
and Springer.
have Springer's out on the side. Wait, didn't
What?
we? So we have 7 people in the ring.
Yeah, because we added one with David Dahl before. Oh wait,
Okay.
and then we added an extra one too. Well, because we have hold on. I'll count it out here because we were both counting at the same time. Stanton, Clint, Hicks, Arenado, Judge, Amir Garrett, Springer. 7. Yeah, 7.
Okay, so someone has to go. 2 people have to go right now, and I'm gonna say it's Yankees. So
All right. Well,
I'm
let's
gonna
bring.
say
You want to bring one more in and then take 2, or just take one out here?
we're gonna take one out. I'm gonna say Amir Garrett takes out Aaron Judge.
Hicks. Aaron Judge. Whoa.
Yeah. We're
Okay.
going for a
All
little
right.
bit of a surprise. Aaron Judge.
Yankees are your team.
Nick,
I'll allow
he's trying to set it up. He's trying to set up a Clint win. I feel it.
I'm not gonna
No.
allow it.
It's not time for a Clint win.
I have my potential winner, but I won't say it yet. All right.
I think I know who wins this, but
Number 29.
we'll see. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Mookie Betts.
This is one of those moments where like people are like, I knew it. I knew Mookie Betts will show up.
He's like Shawn Michaels.
He's Xavier
Here he
Woods.
is. Well, no, like, did you say Xavier Woods? No, he's not. He's bigger than Xavier Woods. He's not Xavier. He's like, I don't know.
Sin Cara.
No, he's like an old guard guy. He would be like
X-Pac.
No, not that old.
Oh.
Is he Triple H? No.
No.
He doesn't have the personality to be Triple H.
Bobby
Is he
Lashley.
a McMahon? Is he a McMahon?
Shane McMahon.
Is he Shane?
He jumps off the
Here
hell
comes-
himself.
Here comes the money. Like he's got the money.
Yeah. He just get paid
He's
$300
Shane.
million.
He's Shane O'Mac.
It's Shane. So he comes in the ring and just goes right after the Yankees. Just goes right after
Yeah.
him.
Yep.
And this
he will take out Aaron Hicks.
Takes out Hicks. Okay. So
we have
number
2
30.
Yankees left in the ring. We have Clint and we have Giancarlo.
Yeah, so it's Clint, Giancarlo, Nolan Arenado, George Springer, and Amir Garrett. And number 30, the final entrant.
The last one. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Araldis Chapman.
Oh, no.
He's going to come
This
in.
is like the heel turn moment where nobody wants him in the ring right now.
Yep.
Nobody wants to see him.
He comes in with full energy, just throwing
He
absolute.
is Jerry the King Lawler.
Fuck.
What are you talking about?
I couldn't think of a more opposite comparison than Jerry the King Lawler.
Because
I can't think of a more
That's
opposite
actually
comparison from Araldis Chapman than Jerry the King Lawler.
because of the off the field stuff.
But
He's got some controversy behind him. Is he Superfly then? Is he Snuka?
That's a really bad thing.
like you just look at Jerry the King Lawler and then just look at Araldis Chapman. Like they're not even the same breed of person.
He's Jimmy Snuka. He is Jimmy Snuka.
Oh my god, how do we come back from this? Oh my god. That was a shock. That one was a shock. Oh my god.
So let's reset here. We have Amir Garrett, George Springer, Stanton,
Clint,
Clint,
Mookie, and Araldis.
Mookie, and Araldis.
So I think we have to find a way to get to our final four.
I feel like
think
the
Nolan-
final four: Nolan, Amir, Chapman has to.
See, I
And
would
then
say my personal final four, I think Springer has to be in it.
Who?
Springer.
Springer.
He's had a good
So it's-
storyline. He's been in since 13.
Springer, Amir
Chapman.
Garrett, Chapman, Stanton. So you want
Yeah.
to make Clint and
And
Mookie.
Yeah.
So
and
I
Nolan.
think here's how, and Nolan. So here's how it goes down. Mookie goes after Clint.
Mhm.
Or actually, no. Clint starts going after Giancarlo.
Mm.
Heel turn. He's upset at Giancarlo because he feels like Giancarlo is blocking him from his position, and he goes after Giancarlo. It doesn't work. Everyone kind of sees it, and Mookie Betts secretly likes Giancarlo Stanton. He kind of wants Giancarlo to come to the Dodgers. He thinks he could be Hollywood, and Mookie starts working on Clint, throws Clint over. Then Mookie thinks he's buddies with Giancarlo Stanton. So then
Jerry the King Lawler.
so then they start like shaking hands and like buddying it up. And Stanton puts on an act. He thinks he's part of it. Or Mookie thinks he's part of it. And then why are you crying?
I can't stop
And
thinking
then-
of Jerry the King Lawler. I can't stop thinking of Jerry the King Lawler. Every time I think about it, I shake. I'll never not. Oh, okay. Sorry. Keep going.
Stanton then throws Mookie over.
Okay.
And it starts a whole storyline post Royal Rumble going into Mania season.
So it's Stan, Garrett,
Amir Garrett,
Springer, Chapman.
Springer. So then then Amir Garrett and Chapman go at it because they're basically the same person. So
Yeah.
they stare
And then
face to face.
It's Amir Garrett, Araldis Chapman, and Jerry the King Lawler. They're one and the same.
Yep.
Yeah, cool.
So those two start just going at it.
Yeah.
Stanton
See, I think
and
one
Springer
way or
are on the side.
Who how do we do this? How do we
One
get
thing we're not factoring in here that we haven't factored in
Mhm.
is Stanton's injury history.
Yeah, I feel like they could all just go after like any part of his body, and his fatigue's
Okay,
probably
so-
down.
So let's do that.
It's time to
Stanton's
get
gone.
here. Okay, all right. So it's Garrett, Springer, and Chapman,
And Jerry the King Lawler.
and Jerry the King Lawler. I think it should finish up with Garrett and Springer, personally. But I think Chapman has all that energy still.
Yeah.
He's a boss. So I would say if I had to pick a final two, I'm picking Springer and Chapman.
Fine. Yeah, fair. Springer, Chapman.
Springer, Chapman, final.
two.
Now, we're going to do it this way. Because
Oh boy.
I think, personally, Springer should win. I think his story's awesome. He took out Altuve, lasted from 13. This is his chance. This is his name. He's getting his name.
He's going out on his own. He's doing his own thing.
Yep.
It's his time.
He's going to the main event of
Your
Mania.
time is up. My time is now.
So we agree here.
Yeah, I mean Chapman's gonna choke again, so
Oh,
Oh,
yeah, Babu. That was great. That was a perfect way to end that Rumble. That's how that should end. Just Chapman's gonna choke again. George Springer is standing up,
Actually, I love that.
and Springer's standing on top of the rope, and he's pointing up to the Mania sign. And then Undertaker's music
Oh.
plays.
No.
And then Undertaker's music plays. And then
Wow.
Undertaker returns for the 19th time.
Hypothetical scenario. If an Undertaker type character came out, who would it be? MLB.
Are we talking about if he came out like in this specific moment for spring or just in general?
In the specific moment.
In this specific
Think
moment,
of someone who's been around a long time, is still in the league, and you're like, wow, how is this guy still in the league?
Brett Gardner? Not good enough, though.
He doesn't have the track record.
Hmm.
Wow, that's a tough one. Bob, any thoughts? Who'd be the Undertaker here?
I was gonna say either Jason Giambi or Randy Johnson.
Randy Johnson. Randy Johnson coming out to just cause havoc
But
on
he's
everybody.
not in the league. It's someone in the league.
I did say that.
It could be he's a legend.
Albert Pujols.
Oh, Mickey, that's it. That is it.
It's like
Albert.
sets up for Mania, right? So Springer points up at the sign, and all of a sudden you hear his music, and he looks up the entranceway, and Pujols is just standing there.
And then we didn't have a Miz type character in here that would have a briefcase. So who is Mr. Money in the Bank right now?
Mr. Money in the Bank, Fernando Tatis Jr.
Okay, I like it.
Comes
Miz
out,
TV,
he's a young kid.
Miz type character. Yeah. Okay.
I feel like we have created a full WWE storyline.
I feel like we need to do this. We need
to
like
do
a
a
weekly,
We need to do a
10 minutes an episode. We need like a WWE segment.
We have to do it every 10 minutes, every episode. We have to do like a small update on what the WWE universe is looking like for MLB.
So right now we have an Undertaker moment that happened. It's going to be, we're setting up for Pujols versus George Springer at Mania. And
Streak.
And Money in the Bank is waiting in the wings.
Yeah. He's the Money in the Bank guy.
It.
I like it too. It's a hell of an episode.
Wow.
Hour and a half.
Next week. It was well worth it. I had a blast.
I did have a blast too. We're gonna try
to see what happens next week.
I mean, we're not too far off of being in a situation where we're gonna do. I would assume next month at some point we'll start doing the previews for each division.
Yep.
Probably maybe even next week. So we'll try to line it up so that it lines up into the season. So whatever that works out to be, it'll work out to be. But look for those soon. And then once season starts, we're going to be talking all sorts of baseball, all sorts of weekly stats, standings, trades, everything.
Weekly friendly wagers. I think we need to.
Yes, weekly friendly wagers for sure. And at this point, barring schedule changing, it looks like if you listen to this, Thursday nights we go live. If you subscribe to the podcast, it'll update you. Hit that subscribe button down here. Down there, right there. No, right there. Yeah, right there. Down there, hit that subscribe. It'll alert you when we go live, and it'll also alert you when we schedule our podcast. You can hit a reminder. It will remind you. You will be here for the podcast. You would have been live for the Royal Rumble. This was a blast. Todd, another great episode.
Had a blast. Tune in next week for the next storyline at WWE MLB World.
Thank you, King Bob, for joining us tonight.
Anytime.
And praise be to Jerry the King Lawler. Have a great week, everybody.
Have a great week.
Todd, we're cut off now. With that, Jerry the King I was like, we're done.
That was one of the best moments I've ever
We're still live.
No. Oh, yeah, we're live and the broadcast. Sorry.